What up, movie lovers? We hope you all have been listening to our Apocaflix Awards for 2015. This is our final podcast for this series, and it is indeed Best Picture, Best Movie of the Year for 2015. I'm your host, Jacob Bartley, and here again with Gio Ramos. What's up, man?
Doing good. Ready to finish strong.
Oh, yeah. And Jake Berlin, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a little bit tired, but I'm getting there, man.
Oh, yeah. I think this is the longest we've podcasted in one day.
Yeah,
it has
so.
to be.
I think so.
But it's fun. We sit around and talk about movies anyways, so might as well record it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to do Best Movie of the Year. And this choice is a combination of your favorite and what you honestly think is the best. So it can be tough. It's going to be, I don't know, a mixture of those two things. So I think I'll go ahead and start this one. There's been some great films this year. There really have been. Like, if I'm going to, all right, so I got to give my honorable mentions. Ex Machina is arguably the best movie of the year. Like, it deserves that spot for me. Inside Out, I wouldn't argue against somebody who told me they thought Inside Out was the best movie of the year. I honestly believe, putting my fanboyisms aside, I honestly believe Ant-Man is a great film. And even if I put out a list of the top 15 films of the year, unbiased list, Ant-Man would be on there for me. But I gotta give it to the best movie of the year for me in 2015 is Star Wars: The Force Awakens. And obviously, it has a lot to do with me loving Star Wars. That has a lot to do with it. But I honestly and truly believe that it's a great film. If you understand the movie and you know what's going on, it makes so much sense. And I get it. Even the first time after I saw it, I was a little confused. But it takes repeat viewings and an understanding of the history of Star Wars and how. What is realistic in the Star Wars world or not. And I don't think a lot of people understand, certain elements of the film and certain things that carry out through the film. But for me, I think Star Wars: The Force Awakens is the best movie of 2015. And, there's obviously movies that can challenge it, like Ex Machina, Inside Out. But I got to go with Star Wars. So, Jake, let's go to you, man. I'm curious. For you, what is the best movie of 2015?
Why are you laughing, man? Why is that funny?
Know.
So I want to be clear on something. Is this best picture or our favorite movie of the year?
I just said it's a mixture.
Okay, a mixture. All right.
It's pretty much, yeah. It's both.
Okay, so a couple honorable mentions to start. Sicario. I've talked about it before. Just great film. Intense, thrilling, all the above. Creed. What Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan, Sylvester Stallone were able to do with that film, the spirit it was able to capture, but the spirit it was able to create on its own. Spotlight, fantastic film, horrifying at times, just heartbreaking at times as well. Tom McCarthy captured something incredible with that film, told a great story with great performances. Mad Max Fury Road, what George Miller was able to do coming back after 30 years. And the action he was able to create, the world he was able to create, entertainment he was able to create. And the last two, it's so hard for me to pick.
I know what your two choices are.
And you guys, obviously you guys know, but if I was to go with best film, the best picture award winner, I would go with Ex Machina.
So would I.
I would go Ex Machina. But if I'm going to go best movie, my favorite movie of the year, Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
What?
I've seen it 6 times. I keep going back. I find myself after 2-3 days craving to see it again. And I don't think I've ever had a movie like that before. I remember with the Avengers, I went back 4 times. I saw it. I was like, oh my God, I'd love to go see that movie again. But it's only been 3 weeks and I've seen it 6 times.
Yeah,
that's telling of how much I love this movie.
I can't wait to go see it again.
As a lifelong Star Wars fan, someone who grew up loving it, enjoying it, and what it means to me today, it's exactly what I wanted from a Star Wars movie. It was everything that it should have been. It set up a universe that has so much potential and confidence going forward. J.J. Abrams was able to create characters that we love just as much after one movie as we did the original movie. So Star Wars The Force Awakens takes the cake for my favorite movie of the year, but I can't go without mentioning Ex Machina because of what that film means to me and what the film means to the whole Hollywood system. I think that what it was able to do is fascinating as well to the sci-fi genre and just movies in general. So best film, best picture is Ex Machina. Best movie, my favorite is Star Wars Force Awakens.
That's exactly how I feel, which is really ironic. Like, out of all the movies, Star Wars is a given, but we enjoyed Ex Machina that much. It says something about the movie. And I remember you saw it before us, and you were like, oh, it's one of the best movies of the year. And that was in, like, April. So it just goes to show how much of an impact Ex Machina has had. And it definitely deserves all the mentions it can get. So, Gia Ramos, what's up, man? We're ready to hear some honorable mentions and what you honestly believe is combined with your favorite.
Start the fire, baby.
Combined with, your favorite and critically what you think favorite/best movie of the year is.
All right. So this really came down to two movies. I'm going to get one honorable mention, and that's going to go to Creed. I'm a fan of boxing films. I love what Ryan Coogler, Michael B. Jordan did. Sylvester Stallone arguably gave the performance of his career. So Creed was a close thought. This came down to two movies, and I'm gonna give the runner-up to this movie because I still think the best is yet to come. And well, that's just one part. Star Wars: The Force Awakens is my runner-up. What J.J. Abrams did, he made Star Wars feel like Star Wars again. He gave us new and exciting characters. He brought back the original cast and used them to the best that he could possibly use them. He made Star Wars, and if you watch the film, you see there's quite a bit of aerial dogfights, whether it's Poe and Finn, taking on a Star Destroyer's guns by themselves, or the X-Wing and the TIE fighters, the great shots of that.
By the way, on Wednesday night when I watched that scene, I counted how many he killed. He killed 10 TIE fighters.
Really?
In that tracking shot.
Yeah.
Holy
10.
crap. Not counting the stormtroopers that he knocks out on the
I think he killed like 4 or 5 stormtroopers,
Jeez.
but 10 TIE fighters.
Dude, he's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the best film for me, combination of my favorite and critically, you guys, no surprise, it's Mad Max Fury Road. When I first saw this movie, I think Jacob was more excited to see it than I was. I knew about the movie, Tom Hardy, Charlize Theron, but when I went into the movie and I saw it with them, it's just, for one, it's a cinematic experience. It's a movie that deserves to be watched on the big screen. The action in this movie, it's fast, it's very real because all the stunts are realistic. You see cars flipping, you see people throwing spears and fires into the cars and everything, and then you can see the CGI where they're going into the storm and that kind of stuff, and just the craziest action sequences. And everybody talks about how Tom Hardy is such a great actor, and but what about Charlize Theron?
She stole the movie.
When you steal the movie from Tom Hardy as Mad Max, that's not a very easy thing to do. And then the film also has these sub messages where it touches on some could say feminism, but another part of it's kind of like slavery, and females and that kind of stuff. And then don't be addicted to water, don't be too much in your comfort zone and this and that, because you never know what could happen. I really like the Furiosa character. People are talking about a spinoff film for her, but just overall high octane action, just incredible stunts, incredible camera work. George Miller just did a phenomenal job. If he gets a Best Director nomination, I'm happy with that. If Mad Max gets nominated for Best Picture, that's great for the Academy. And he just, with so many of these action movies, just doing these out of this world stunts and everything, George Miller really took it back to, the basics and old fashioned, and I appreciate that. So Star Wars very close second, Creed third, but for me it's Mad Max Fury Road.
Hearing you talk about it, I'm kind of bummed that we didn't get to see it together. The
Mad
three of us.
Max?
Yeah, we didn't get to watch it together.
I don't think we hung out as much as we did back then.
No, I don't know, but
Not as
I'm kind of
much.
bummed that we didn't get to see it together. That
I
would've been
remember
fun.
the night we went. We went with our buddy Joe. I don't know if you remember, but
Joe and Shane.
yeah, we did. And
That would have been fun.
man, it was. I enjoyed the movie a lot. So so out of these movies, do you guys? So it's funny because Star Wars. We throw Ex Machina in this conversation. Star Wars, Ex Machina, Mad Max. They're all movies that we think deserve a Best Picture nomination, but will they get it? So out of these three movies, which one do you think has the best chance of getting an Oscar nomination? Like, not based on what you think, but just on the way the Academy is and their voting system. And
The
all
way
that.
the Academy, if I was to go by the way the Academy is, I think Ex Machina has the best chance.
Okay.
But I would not be surprised if we see something like Star Wars get nominated. I would not be surprised, but I think Mad Max has the better chance because it is critically acclaimed. It's better critically acclaimed.
Yeah.
And I think that it's more of a wow factor over Star Wars. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if any of the three.
Yeah.
Like, the biggest surprise would obviously be Star Wars because of what it is. It's fantasy, space opera kind of stuff. But I think Ex Machina has the best chance. Only thing holding it back is the release date.
Yeah.
But I think Mad Max has a better chance because of how critically acclaimed it was. Or
Yeah.
is.
I think Mad Max Fury Road is going to get
And
nominated.
if they
for
go to
Best
10
Picture.
films, I don't see how it can't be.
I honestly think that I want all three of these films, and I think there's a little chance that all three of them could.
There is a possibility.
But I think two of them will, and I don't know which two. But because these are films that are going to have a hard time getting that nomination, and it'll be a miracle if one of them does. So if two of them get it, that would be amazing. So I mean, I think if Ex Machina gets nominated, it'll say something about you don't have to release at the end of the year. If Mad Max Fury Road gets nominated, it'll say something about like they're not afraid to nominate something that's very different.
Doesn't
and
have to
like
be a drama.
very edgy, hardcore, And then if Star Wars gets nominated, it'll show that they're not afraid to nominate huge blockbusters.
It's a shift to genre film.
Yeah, and I think the same goes for Inside Out. Like, I think it'll do a lot for Hollywood if Inside Out gets nominated because it'll show that animated movies should more often than not get nominated for Best Picture if they're one of the most critically acclaimed movies of the year. So, Gio, what do you think? Do you think any of these? What out of these three movies do you think has the best chance of getting nominated
Between
for Best
Ex
Picture?
Machina, Star Wars, and
And
Mad
Mad
Max,
Max, yeah.
I'd probably give it to Ex Machina. Just looking at what they did, the performances, the story, the pacing, all that kind of stuff, the reveals at the end. I think Ex Machina would be more friendly film.
I just
for-
hope they
for the
don't
Academy.
forget about it because how early it came out.
But I think all three of them are going to have something to do with some kind of category.
Oh, definitely.
Some kind of category,
Yeah, like-
whether it's visual, cinematography, performances, whatever it is.
For sure.
So director,
dude.
writing.
There's no question. Well, yeah, I just thought I'd ask an interesting part
That's a
because these
great
are
question.
the movies that we think are the best of
Great-
the year.
great question, yeah.
So, well, there you have it. Our best movies of the year. We had Jake and I both had Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Gio had Mad Max: Fury Road, and I mean, Ex Machina is like knocking at the door right now because
So is
it's
Creed.
like, yeah.
Hey, Creed is just as much.
I think Creed should get nominated for Best
Yeah, so
Picture.
do I. I
I
agree.
really do. Even though it's not in my top 10 of the year, I think it should get nominated for Best Picture, and I'll be happy if it does. And that'll say something for the Academy
It's
too.
just as
Like
much as it should,
I would
yeah.
love there to be like some diversity, like spotlight. And I actually want to give a shout out to Room. I think like if Star Wars and Ex Machina were out of the picture, I would consider saying Room is the best movie of the year from my perspective and my liking. So yeah, that'll do it. All right, that's gonna do it for our best movie of the year discussion. Thank you all for listening. I'm your host Jacob Bartley, and you can find me on Twitter at Governor Bartley on this Apocaflix Movies YouTube channel. Please subscribe, hit that like button. And Gio, where can they find you online, man?
You guys can find me on Twitter at GioRamos24 and on apocalypsmovies.com every day.
Qui-Gon Jake Berlin, where can they find you online, man?
At Qui-Gon Jake, and Twitter and Instagram, Apocaflix Movies, and our Facebook page, Apocaflix Movies, or just Apocaflix Movies.
Thank you all for listening. May the force be with you. It's Star Wars kind of podcast.
Like it.
And we'll see you next time. Welcome the new year 2016. Thanks you all for listening to the Apocaflix Awards.